This video will show you how to connect using the HPE Storage PowerShell Toolkit to both Nimble Storage and Alletra6K type machines. So what I've got here is I've got the old version of the toolkit and the new version of the toolkit side by side. In the old version of the toolkit, if I do a get module, you can see it's called the HPE Alletra6K and Nimble Storage PowerShell Toolkit. That name is actually being retired for the new toolkit. And the new toolkit, if I do a get module, is simply called HPE Storage. And it covers a number of platforms, from the MSA to the Nimble Storage to the Alletra6K, the Alletra9K, the Primera, and the 3PARs. So with this new toolkit, we're going to be able to manage all of those at once. This video is going to specifically show you how to manage a Nimble Storage. Now, this is being done on GitHub. And in fact, if you take a look at the GitHub site, which is github.com/hewlett-packard/HPE Storage PowerShell Toolkit, you'll find the entire toolkit. Now, I should note that there's a file called changes.a6.md. This file right here shows you the differences between the previous version and this version. So we talk about how to use it. In fact, all the things I'm doing here in this video are in this file. But it also shows you a list of all the issues that have been fixed in the previous version of the toolkit to this version of the toolkit. And I'm going to show you some of those fixes right now. So let's go ahead and take a look. Using the old toolkit, I'm going to open this up here. Using the old toolkit, let's go ahead and connect to my array. So connect NS group, and then I'm going to use the group IP address. And then I've got to use a credential. But of course, if I don't have a credential object already created, I can just simply pipe in get credential, and it will ask me for one. So I'm going to put in my credential information, and now I'm into my array. At this point, I can run commands like get volume, that kind of thing, but let's see what a list of those commands look like. If I get command -module HPE Alletra, you'll see there's a lot of commands. So all these commands are the existing 3.4.1 commands. Now let me show you an example of how to run some of these commands. If I run get ns initiator, you can get an idea of what this looks like. Now this puts in table format, but let's see how to run a get help on that command. If I do get help on a new -ns initiator, you can see that the help is actually shown. However, one of the big bugs that we had was that in the help file, that all of the parameters were shown separately, and it didn't give you an idea of what was supposed to go together. And in fact, this is incorrect. I'm going to show you what this looks like on the new PowerShell Toolkit. So now, in the new toolkit, you can see I'm running 3.5, which is HPE Storage. If I do a get command, because again, I have to figure out how to connect. If I do a get command -module HPE Storage, you can see I only have connectivity commands. And the reason is because if I loaded all the commands for all the platforms, you'd be inundated with a list and you'd have multiple connection methods, and it would be very confusing very quickly. So what we've done is we've actually simplified that to connect -HPE SAN, and then tab complete for the array IP address or ID name. And then I can put the array type, and for the array type, if I tab through, it'll list all the different options. In fact, let me open this window up a little bit. There's Nimble, Primera, 3PAR. Let's go ahead and with Alletra6K. And then credential, I can choose to put a credential in, or if I leave it blank, it will prompt me. Let's go ahead and leave it blank. I am now connected to the array. So I can run the exact same command I did before, such as get ns initiator, and you can see it runs just like it did before. But now if I do a get -help new -ns initiator, you can see the difference is drastic and striking. Because the new initiator commandlet, let's shrink this to make it easier to read, the new initiator commandlet shows the parameters properly, which is the command And then you put an access protocol in, initiator group ID, an IP address, an alias, and a worldwide port name. Notice that there's one parameter set, this one here, if you're using worldwide port names. There's a different parameter set if you're using IQNs. So there's a fiber channel version of the command and an iSCSI version of the command. So you can see that which parameters belong with which. In fact, if you start running this command, like new-ns initiator, and you put in worldwide port name, and you put something, and then if I try and put in something that doesn't belong, like label, because when you're using fiber channel, you need to use alias instead of label. And if I try and put in label, it will actually throw me an error saying label does not belong in that parameter set. So in fact, if I do a dash like that and hit tab, it will show me all the valid next options I have. And notice that label never pops up in that list. Now, access protocol is an interesting one because if I hit space and tab, it will tell me what the different options are. So again, there's a lot of stuff in here to help you, but being able to get help on commands and have them put back proper help files is key among them. Additionally, in both the new and the old commandlets, we have examples. So here's an example of how to run one of these commands. And again, that works the same as it does in the old version, but we've added more examples. So this should show you the difference between the new PowerShell Toolkit and the old PowerShell Toolkit. There's a little difference because you're going to download one master toolkit, which is then going to load the minor toolkit. In fact, if I do a get-module, you will see that the HPE Storage master module is loaded, and the submodule gets loaded just like it did before, except with the new version. So with that said, you should be able to see the difference between these two toolkits. My name is Chris Leonetti. You're welcome to contact me if you have questions about the toolkit. If you have bugs to raise against the toolkit, please feel free to put them in the GitHub site, and we will address them quickly and efficiently. And additionally, when this toolkit releases fully, it will be digitally signed, and you'll be able to find it on the My Software link inside of HP, or you'll be able to find it on the PS Gallery. And the difference between the beta versions and the full version that's released is the full version released will be digitally signed. Thank you very much.